Good morning, class. I hope everybody is feeling great and ready to learn about cause and effect today. Okay? So let me go over our expectations for today. So first, everybody should have out the Earth Changes book right here. And also, I'm going to pass out this cause and effect chart after I go over our expectations of what we're going to be doing today. So for today, our goal for this lesson will include identifying examples of cause and effect text structures inside the textbook of this Earth Changes. Students will identify signal words and phrases for cause and effect relationships, and students will share their understandings in collaborative conversations and in writing. So that is our goals for today. That is what every student here is going to do today. So what I'm really focusing on is these three big things, is how you can identify an example of a cause and effect text structure inside this textbook, Earth Changes. This next thing I'm going to look for is how you identify signal words and phrases for cause and effect relationships. And lastly is our sharing of understandings in collaborative conversations and in writing. So that is our goals for today. Okay, so let me go ahead and pass out this cause and effect chart. You will be needing this as we go through this lesson. And then after we finish this lesson, you will be doing a self-assessment. What a self-assessment is, it will be in your Google Classroom in a Google Doc form, and so it will be an assignment. You will just answer, it's 5 questions, and you're just going to answer it truthfully, and it's just going to ask you about how this lesson went today. It's going to ask you questions like, what did you learn today in this lesson? What was easy for you? And then another question would be, what was hard for you? Another question would be, how could we improve this? We'll talk about that more when we get there, but we're going to finish off today's lesson with what's called a self-assessment, so that you can, as individuals, assess yourself to figure out what you still know and what you still need help on. Okay? So everybody has one of these papers, correct?
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to give one to you so she comes in late. Okay. So now let's do a quick review of what cause and effect is. So when we think about cause and effect, what do we remember from our learnings from the past of what is cause and effect? When we just think about cause and effect, what do we think about? What do we think about? Any ideas?
We think about...
Raise your hand, please. So Alejandra, what are you thinking?
With the cause and effect.
Cause and effect. So, Jesus?
How earthquakes can shape the earth?
Okay, yeah, we could think about that. Anybody else? Any ideas? Cause and effect? So, George, you're thinking of something?
There can be natural disasters all over the world.
Yeah, that's the cause and effect. Alejandro?
When a tsunami comes, many people drown and die.
Good job, everybody. So, cause and effect. Whenever people think about cause and effect, they think about a change. A change in relation to how something was before and how it will be different after the change. And then we also got to think about what caused the change to occur. That's our big focus point today, is what causes things to change. So for an example, remember we went over, I gave you guys this example. So the cause is that you wake up every day. You wake up every single day, you get ready, you come to school. That is your cause. And then the effect of that is that you learn something new every day. You're here at school and you're learning. You're getting ready for 5th grade. You're getting ready for, after school. Okay? So that's like a cause and effect relationship. It's when something happens and then something else happens after that as a result. So that's what we think about when we think of cause and effect. We think of something that happened. So what made this happen? What is the cause of this? So what made this? And then we think about, okay, so this happened, and then something else happened after. So another example is, I'm walking down the street, and I trip and I fall. That's the cause. I'm walking down the street, I trip and fall. And then the effect of that is that I scraped my knee and I started bleeding. The effect is that only because of the cause that I tripped and I fell. So I tripped and I fell, and because of that, I scraped my knee and I started bleeding. That is the effect to that cause. So as we are going through our text today, we're going to be identifying and describing cause and effect text structure. So we're going to be looking for key words, signal words and phrases, and be looking for causes and effects. And then at the end of our lesson, then we're going to do a self-assessment of what we've learned and what we still need to work on, and what we feel that we understand very good already. Is there any questions so far before we begin?
No.
Okay. So now that we have reviewed more about cause and effect, now everybody please open up your Earth Changes book to page 4.
Hey.
So we're going to be working right here on pages 4 and 5 today. Okay. So page 4, we have our short read, earthquakes. We have already read the story. Yesterday we were working with our context clues lesson in the story, but today we're going to be working with cause and effect. Okay? So I will do one, and then we will do one together, and then you will do 2 on your own. So everybody please follow along as I do this first one together. So everybody should have their cause and effect chart out next to them as well, with a pencil and their book open right here to page 4. So let's look at paragraph 2. Look at the subheading. It's telling us what causes earthquakes. So there should be some cause and effect right here in this paragraph. This paragraph is all about what causes earthquakes. So we're going to look for and find what causes earthquakes. Let's go ahead and read this paragraph. An earthquake is a sudden movement or a shift of the Earth's crust. This thin outer layer is made up of many interlocking pieces called tectonic plates. These plates float on a layer of hot molten rock, and they move as slowly as fingernails grow. As they move, they rub against one another, building up stored energy and pressure. When these plates shift or collide at their boundaries, an earthquake happens. Earth's surface rumbles and shakes as the energy is released. So we see here in sentence 1 in paragraph 2, it says that an earthquake is a sudden movement or a shift of the Earth's crust. So this gives me a general idea about what causes an earthquake. It's a sudden movement or shift of the Earth's crust. But it doesn't tell me what causes the sudden movement. So I need to keep reading. In sentence 2, it tells me what tectonic plates are. And the sentences in 3 and 4 will describe the way tectonic plates move. But these sentences don't tell me specifically what causes the earthquakes. And that's what we're really looking for, is the cause of something, the cause. We're looking for the cause. So now let's focus right here on sentence 4. So on sentence 4, it starts off by saying, as they move, they rub against one another, building up stored energy and pressure. So in sentence 4, it explains that the plates rub against one another. So everybody go ahead and underline this now. Rub against one another. Underline this in your book. So by knowing this, in sentence 4, it explains that the plates rub against one another, building up stored energy and pressure. Okay? So we can go ahead and underline all of this. So building up stored energy and pressure. So now we have found our cause and effect right here in this sentence. So we know that this is a cause and effect because of the signal words building up. These are signal words that help us identify that it's a cause and effect relationship. So the sentence begins by telling us, as they move, they rub against one another, building up stored energy and pressure. So the words building up help me recognize a cause and effect relationship. So the cause to this sentence would be the beginning of the sentence, where it says, as they move, they rub against one another. So that's the cause. They're moving and rubbing it against one another. And then the signal word that we look for is where it says building up. So building up tells us that it's a cause and effect relationship. And then the effect to the plates rubbing against one another, stored energy is pressure, that they build up stored energy and pressure. So now we have identified our cause and effect relationship. We identified our signal word and phrase. So now we're going to transfer this information into our chart. So everybody please follow along and let's transfer this information into our chart in the first box right here where it says paragraph 2. So our cause was as they move, the plates rub against one another. Everybody please fill that in your chart now. So as they move, the plates rub against one another. That is our cause. And the effect of that is that they build up stored energy. So our cause is that as they move, the plates rub against one another. That's the cause. The effect to that, so because the plates were moving and rubbing against one another, they were building up stored energy. That is the effect to that cause. So a signal word or phrase that we got from that sentence was where it says building up. That is the signal word that helped us identify the cause and effect relationship in this paragraph. So I'll give you guys about a minute to finish writing this down, and then we will do the next box together as a class. Is there any questions so far about this lesson? Everybody's doing good? Okay, it looks like everybody's just about finished. So now let's do another one in paragraph 2 together as a class. So let's go back to our text. So now let's continue on paragraph 2. Let's look at the next sentence. When these plates shift or collide at their boundaries, an earthquake happens. So by reading this sentence, do we think that there's a cause and effect relationship in this sentence that we just read?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. So let's identify the cause. So in this sentence that we just read, when these plates shift or collide at their boundaries, an earthquake happens. So what is the cause? What is the cause in this sentence that we can identify?
An earthquake can happen.
Let's raise your hand, please. George?
Plates shift or collide at their boundaries.
Yes. So the plates shift or collide at their boundaries. Let's go ahead and underline this right now. Plates shift or collide at their boundaries. So that is our cause. We identified a cause right here. So what's a signal word that we can look for that helped us identify this cause? What's the signal word that helped us identify that this is a cause?
Boundary.
Hold on. George?
When it happens.
Okay. So we see that when is the signal word that helped us identify our cause. So let's circle this word when, because this is telling us that it's a signal word. This is identifying the cause. So when these plates shift or collide at their boundaries, an earthquake happens. So now what would be our effect? What is the effect to this sentence? Let's go with Lexi. Lexi, tell us, what is the effect right here in this sentence? So we figured out that the cause is when these plates shift or collide at their boundaries. So what would be the effect of that? Okay, you need some help? Let's have Jesus. Let's talk about Lexi. So, Jesus, what is the effect right here? So we're working right here in our second box. So this is what we're working at, class. We're working right here in our second box. We found the cause. So now we're trying to find the effect. Okay? So what is the effect in paragraph 2 right here in this sentence? What would be the effect, Jesus? Do you know?
Plates shift and collide at their boundaries.
So that is the cause. The cause is that the plates shift and collide at their boundaries. So what is the effect of that? Just continue reading the sentence. Come on, you want to help him out? So what would be the effect?
An earthquake happens.
Excellent, good job, Juan. So our effect is that an earthquake happens. So what's a signal word that we can identify that helps us figure out that this is the effect? What's a signal word from our effect that we just underlined? An earthquake happens. What's a signal word or phrase, Ariana? What's a signal word or phrase right here that we can identify in our effect? An earthquake happens. Which one's a signal word or a phrase? Happens. So let's go ahead and circle this word happens, everybody. So happens. So what this is here, this is telling us sentence 5 begins with the word when. And it ends with the word happens. So these are cause and effect signal words. They show cause and effect relationships. For example, when this happens, this other thing happens as a result. So when the plates shift or collide at their boundaries, an earthquake happens. So that was our cause and effect. And the signal words when it happens help us identify the cause and effect relationship. So let's go ahead and transfer this into our chart now. So for our second box, the cause was plates shift or collide at their boundaries. So that is our cause for our next section here in paragraph 2. Plates shift or collide at their boundaries. The effect of that is an earthquake happens. And then the signal words or phrases that we identified were when and happens. Okay. I'll give you about a minute now to finish writing in this information. Is there any questions so far about identifying and describing cause and effect relationships? Everybody should have a pretty much good idea about how to identify cause and effect relationships. And then so now what we're going to do next is I'm going to put you in partners, and with your partner you're going to find 2 more cause and effect relationships in paragraphs 4 and 5. Okay? So with your partner you're going to fill out these next 2 rows here in our worksheet. Okay? So in our worksheet here, our cause and effect chart, we have paragraph 4 and paragraph 5. So now you, with your partner, are going to find cause and effect relationships in signal words or phrases in paragraph 4 and paragraph 5. Okay? So once you finish writing this down, I will split you guys up into groups, and then we will do that for about 10 minutes. Okay? Jesus, and then we can do JD and Juan, and then Jesus and Lexi, and then Alejandro and Ariana.
You mean George and me? You said me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I said George and Lexi. Okay, so how we could do it is you 2 could just stay like that because you guys are right next to each other, and then Alejandro, we could have you move your desk like we did yesterday, and then Jesus, we could just move you over here, and then you 2 can stay like that. Okay? So once you finish writing this down, go ahead and start. Look in paragraphs 4 and 5 for cause and effect relationships, just like we did together in paragraph 2. So you're only focusing on paragraphs 4 and 5. Do 1 paragraph at a time. Start on paragraph 5 or paragraph 4, and then you got to find the cause, and then find the effect, and then use those signal words or phrases to help you. That's what we should be looking for first, is those signal words or phrases. Okay? So go ahead and talk with your partner now, and look through your book and talk what you think would be the cause. Talk with each other what you think the signal words is. Talk to each other what you think the effect would be. I want to hear you guys conversating with each other, okay? Okay. Okay, we have 10 minutes to do this, so let's get to working. We don't have that much time, because then we're going to have to do our self-assessment next. So we're only going to have about 10 minutes on this. Okay? So by 10:15, then we're going to be moving on to our self-assessment. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Lexi, George?
He's already done.
Okay, well, you guys can talk with each other and help figure it out. So George, why don't we give Lexi a hand and help her figure out what's some signal words that you found in paragraph 5. Talk to her about it. Help her. You guys talk with each other. So tell her where you found it in the story, and why you think that was it.
I found
JV one, how you guys doing over here? I want you guys to talk about what you guys are writing right here. Okay, one? I want to hear you guys talk about what you guys think the cause is, what the effect is, and what are some signal words. Okay? So I want to hear you. Jamie, tell them what do you think is the cause? Where did you find that in the text? So you have our text right here. Oh, look, you underlined it. It looks like you guys both found it. So do you guys agree that that is the cause in paragraph 5? Okay, now what about the effect? Just talk to each other just like that. Keep going. Okay? Yeah, we did paragraph 4. So you just finish writing that. Talk with each other, talk. So, what do you think is the cause for paragraph 5? First, let's find the signal word. What do you think is the signal word that we can check here in paragraph 5 that can help us?
Underline it. I forgot to say now.
And make sure we're underlining and circling. We're gonna underline this cause and effect sentence and then circle the signal words. Brianna? You got about Jesus? What are you guys talking? Alejandro, Ariana? How you guys doing over here? Ariana, what do you think? What's the cause for paragraph 4? What do you think the cause is? Well, it looks like you found it for paragraph 5. Tell us, what's the cause that you found in paragraph 5? What do you have right there? Oh, okay. Well, what do you think it is? So what do you have written down right there? Oh, you wrote it for paragraph, so you did paragraph 4 right here. What do you think it is, Alejandro? Okay, so you think this is the signal word? So we're right here in paragraph 5. But this is paragraph 5. Oh yeah, we're gonna do paragraph 5. So it looks like you might have something right here. Okay, so that would be our signal word or phrase. So the information that you had right there circled, that would be our signal word that you identified right here. This is in paragraph 5. This would be right there. So why do we think the signal word is formed? What does form tell us? How is that a signal word? What do you think? Yeah, it's changing. It's like we're saying that it changes the cause and effect. So when you form something, it changes it. So that's cause and effect. Now you gotta write what the causes and the effect is, so it should be somewhere right here. Yeah, what you have underlined. What you have underlined right here. This would be the cause and effect, okay? So this first part right here, the plates collided and pushed upward. So we form one of the plates collided and pushed upward. That would be the cause. The effect is in those three mountains. Okay, that would be the effect. Go ahead and put it in there. On the right track, everybody's doing good? Yes? You guys finished? Okay, excellent. Okay. Give you guys about 4 more minutes to finish up. Doing good, everybody's doing good. I see a lot of people writing, underlining, circling words, that's great, keep it up. Okay, 4 more minutes. Make sure you and your partner have those 2 rows done, so then I'm gonna call on you guys to share what you guys found, okay? And make sure you guys have something written down, so when I call on you, you can share, okay? So we found out the cause was in paragraph 5. Where did you find it at? What did you underline? What was this part right here on the bottom? It's like what you have circled, right? That's what you put right here, what you have underlined. So what was the signal word or phrase that helped you identify that cause? What do you think, Brianna? I think Brianna can help you out. So in paragraph 5, what's a signal word or phrase that we could use in paragraph 5? What's a signal word or phrase that we can use? What is it? Tell Jesus. You know how to pronounce it? So Brianna wrote right here that she found her signal word or phrase forming. So forming was the signal word that she found. Good job, Brianna. So forming, it's right here. So the plates collided and pushed upward, forming Mighty Mountain range. So then we found our cause in the signal word. So what would our effect be? What would the effect of this cause be? So the plates collided and pushed upward, forming what? What was the effect? What did they form? Exactly. So that would be our effect. Well, hold on. We're gonna put this right here. Okay, one more minute, everybody, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And then we're going to share, and you guys can talk to us together what you got with your partner. Okay? So. Alejandro, let's go ahead and move your chair back straight, please. Thank you. Scoot it one over. Get up, please. Yeah. So Brianna, she identified the other signal word right there. Okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and call on partners and so now I'm gonna call on groups to go ahead and share what they learned with their group. Okay? So Jesus, can you go ahead and come back over here? Yeah. So how did you guys like working with your partners? I heard a lot of people talking and having great communications. I saw everybody was filling in their charts. That's very well done. So now let's go ahead and just look at our cause and effect chart. So let's look right here at paragraph 5. So paragraph 5, our cause. What is the cause that we found right here in paragraph 5? So paragraph 5, what is the cause? George?
The Himalayan plates came together.
Yeah, so the plates collided and pushed upward. Excellent. So that was our cause for paragraph 5, is that the plates collided and pushed upward. And then what would be our effect to that? Juan?
Forming mountain range.
Yeah, So they formed the mighty mountain range. Excellent. So whenever the plates collided and pushed upward, the effect to that was that the mighty mountains were formed. Excellent. So what was a signal word or a phrase that we could use for that paragraph? Jesus?
Forming.
Forming. Yes, so it's telling us that forming introduces the effect. Excellent. So we figured that out in paragraph 5. So now let's go to paragraph 4. So in paragraph 4, what is our cause that we identified in paragraph 4? Let's go with Jaylene. Jaylene, tell us, what did you write for your cause in paragraph 4, Jaylene?
As the plates move apart.
The plates move apart. Excellent. So we figured that out in paragraph 4, that the plates move apart. That was a cause that we found in paragraph 4. So what would be our effect to that? Lexi? What would be our effect? So the plates move apart. So what was the effect of that in paragraph 4?
I didn't get to finish.
You didn't get to finish? Okay. Let's go with Brianna. Tell us, what do you think is the effect in paragraph 4?
Which one?
Robin? In paragraph 4.
The bottom one.
In the bottom one, in paragraph 4. So let's look right here. In paragraph 4. So in paragraph 4. What would be our effect? So as we said that as plates move apart, what would be the effect of that? Brianna, do you know? Okay, let's see. So look, so it's telling us that the plates collided. Oh no, we're here in paragraph 4. So the plates move apart. Then what would be the effect of that? So the plates move apart. What do you think? What do you think would be the effect? Lexi, do you know now? Or Brianna? So it's right there in the text. You gotta follow along. It's all in the same sentence. So the cause is introducing first, and the effect comes next. What is it, Brianna? Okay, let's go with Ariana. Ariana, what do you think the effect is right here in paragraph 4?
Valleys, rivers, and oceans can form.
Yes, excellent. So she found out the effect is that valleys, rivers, and even oceans can form. So the cause is that the plates move apart. And when the plates move apart, valleys, rivers, and even oceans can form. So what's our signal word or phrase that we found out in that effect? Juan?
Can form.
Can form, yes. So that word, can form, indicates it's a cause and effect relationship. Excellent, very well done, class. So now everybody, please get out your Chromebooks. And we are going to do a self-assessment of the lesson we just learned. Okay? So everybody, please get out your Chromebooks. Okay. And in your Chromebook, please go into your Google Classroom. And then in your Google Classroom, if you guys go into our stream on the very first homepage, you will see that there was an assignment posted here just about an hour ago titled Student Self-Assessment. So you're going to click on this. It should be right there as soon as you log into Google Classroom on your stream titled Student Self-Assessment. It will say that I posted the assignment. Okay? And then once you go here, it says, after completing this lesson, identifying, describing cause and effect text structures, and filling out the cause and effect chart, please answer these questions to assess your knowledge of what you have learned. Okay? So this is the self-assessment here. It is titled Student Self-Assessment. The first paragraph right here, this is just the instructions that I just read to you. Okay? So you're going to focus on these questions here. And then you're going to click right here on the box below to put in your answer. So our first question, and this is only, you're going to answer these questions all by yourself. This is just to figure out what you learned. Okay? So our first question is, what have you learned? So just from this lesson right now, what have you learned? And then the next question is, what did you find easy about learning to identify and describe cause and effect text structures? So basically, what did you find easy about this lesson? What was easy for you in this lesson? And then our next question, number 3, is what did you find difficult while learning to identify and describe cause and effect text structures? So what was hard for you about this lesson? What was hard for you? You know, all you have to do is write one sentence. That's all I'm asking for, is one sentence for your response. The next question is, what is something you did when you were confused or got stuck on something? So if you were confused and got stuck, what did you do? So you were confused, you didn't understand what to do. What did you do? You know, what is something that you did to help you figure something out? And then the last question is, how would you change this activity for another class who was learning about this? So if there's anything that you would change about this, like what would you want to do different about this lesson? Okay, so here are our questions here. Everybody go ahead and work on this for a few minutes. Let me go ahead and make sure everybody's there. Okay, yep, looks like you're there. So all you need to write is one sentence for each of these questions. One sentence, a complete sentence. There it is. And then once you're finished, let me know, and then I'll go around and I'll check on you guys. Looks like you guys are good. If you have any questions as well about what the question is, let me know, and I will help you with the question. Okay? So let me know if you need any help, and let me know when you're done. As soon as somebody's finished, raise your hand so I can check on it before you submit it. Alejandro, you're gonna get out your Chromebook. So let me know. Before you submit it, let me see it. So you're gonna get out your Chromebook, and then you're gonna go into Google Classroom, and then you're gonna have to answer 5 more questions. It's about student self-assessment. So these questions are just that ask about what did you learn? So what did you just learn about this lesson? So we can go through the questions together right now when you pull it up. So what this test is for is so that we could figure out as teachers what we are doing good and then what we can fix as well. So we see as teachers, okay, we understand that most of these students were doing very good at this. But then the self-assessment also lets us know what you guys are struggling with. And so what we can do to improve our lessons as teachers to make our teaching the best it could be. So you're gonna go to the string. It should be right there on the top. The first one. Right on the back. So right there. So you're just gonna go through and answer these questions. Okay. So just write in the one sentence. That's all you need in one sentence. You can write a complete sentence. So the first question is, what have you learned? So what we did just right now. So what did you learn? And the next one would be, what did you find easy about learning? What did you find easy about this? And then the next one is, what did you find hard about this? And what was difficult for you right now? And then okay, leave you right that. And then it says, what is something you did when you were confused? Like, so if you're confused, what did you do? Did you raise your hand? Did you talk to your partner? And then 5 is, how would you change this activity? If you could change it, like what would you do different about it? Okay, so that's it. Just answer those 5 questions. This is just for, as a teacher, how we can improve our lessons and make it better. Okay? Okay, continue everybody. Bless you. Once you have finished, raise your hand so I can come through and check it. We'll work on this for about another 5 minutes, okay? So try your best to finish it up. And it's fine. If you do not finish it right now, then we can finish it for homework, okay? But try your best right now. You have about 5 more minutes up to finish this up. And if you don't finish it, you can finish it for homework. So this is saying, what did you find easy about it? So what we just did right now, with the lesson that I taught you guys, what did you find easy about the learning? So what was easy about it? And then the next one is the same thing, but what did you find hard? Like what was hard for you? So basically, you're just gonna write what was easy for you. Like maybe the reading was easy, maybe the writing, the finding the signal words, finding the cause. There was something that was easy for you. Yeah. Finding. Finding. F. I. N. D. Hiding my hair. Keep going. Yes, Lexi? What is this one? So number 2 is saying, what did you find easy about the lesson? So maybe you found it easy to find the signal words. Maybe you found it easy to find the cause. Maybe you found it easy to find the effect. Or maybe it was easy to just read it. Maybe just what was easy for you? Working with a partner. What did you think was easy about this lesson? It could be anything. Yes, George? You finished? Okay, let me know when you're done. Jamie? So number 5 is asking, is there anything that you would change about the lesson? So if you were to give me advice, like, hey, Miss Erica, I think that we should do this different. just a suggestion, so how would you change the activity? So what would you like to do different? Like maybe not work with a partner, maybe work with 3 people, maybe, do everything together instead of by yourself, like just everything. What do you think? How would you change it if we could change it? Yes, George? Finished? Let's see, let's go over this together. So you said, after the just gonna have to follow the road, and explaining the natural causes. Good job. Difficult, like this arm right now. Okay, so I told, okay, yeah, that's good. So you figured out right here in question 4, you knew your resources. You knew that, if you're confused, you couldn't figure something out, then you talk to me, you were talking to your partner. That's a very good job. So number 5, I think I will change writing for typing because, okay. So you would rather do writing instead of typing?
No, I would rather do typing.
Oh, you'd rather do typing than writing. Okay. Okay then. That's good. Very good job, George. Looks like you did very well right here on the self-assessment. So go ahead and submit it, and you'll be good to go. Yep. Art. H-A-R-D. Good job, George. A-R-D. Go ahead and submit it, George. Good job. We're gonna wrap it up right now in 1 minute. Okay, you're done. Let's check it out. Come on, yep. Okay. So you learned about cause and effect. Yep, good job. So you said it would easy to read the book and learn the word. Yep, that's good. That's good. First, cause and effect is something to learn and learn. Okay. So then it's like you and then I got confused about cause and effect, which you said. So what this question is asking you about is what did you do? You said that you got confused, but what did you do to help you? Did you talk to Juan? Did you talk to me? Did you, what did you do when you got confused? That's what that one's asking for. And then which? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So just change number 4 and then submit it. Okay. Yes, Lexi? Number 3 is the same thing, but you're just gonna write what was hard for you about the lesson. So was it hard for you to identify the cause? Was it hard for you to identify the signal word? Was it hard for you to identify the effect? Just what was hard for you? Okay. Yes, ma'am? Okay. So what we could do now, class, it's already been a good enough time. So for those of you that have not finished the student self-assessment yet, go ahead and just, we can finish that later, okay? Because we're gonna move on to our next subject. We're gonna work in our social studies, okay? So if you haven't finished your student self-assessment, that's fine. We could work on it again another day, okay? But good job, everybody. You guys are great. Now let's get ready to go into our social studies subject assignment.